Talk about. Temperatures are tumbling, especially in the east. Atlantic Canada, you're back in storm watch, and science behind a blizzard. Our storm watch starts now. Mount Pearl from Steve, and other images coming to us here at theweathernetwork.com. We'd love to see your photos and videos. Please upload them. Blizzard warnings that are still in place include Buena Vista North. We have the Bay of Exploits with an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, and yes, still some strong winds along the shoreline. Things have wound down for you in the Avalon Peninsula, but at this point we are still seeing a little bit of snow, but the winds aren't as strong as yesterday. Now, additional snow for today will give parts of the Avalon about additional 5 centimeters, but this is for the next storm coming. So this is this morning through to Wednesday. We're seeing another storm system tomorrow afternoon into Thursday. That's going to ramp up your winds again and bring you more snow. So this morning we were looking at the models and things started to get a little bit more serious here for Nova Scotia towards PEI and Cape Breton Island. Winter storm warnings now in place for Halifax. We could see winds gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour, potentially 30 centimeters of snow, and there's already a winter storm watch in place for most of Newfoundland. Reveling in the fun today. Do it while you can because the winds will certainly pick up tonight. Also, if you're in eastern Canada, Montreal towards Quebec City, there is some light snow for you this morning. Ontario is staying as rain around Cornwall towards Brockville, for example. And as far as the snow for Montreal and Quebec City, it's a general 1 to 3 centimeters this morning, tapering off by late afternoon. But then tonight, this really starts to pick up speed. Snowfall forecast here for Nova Scotia up to Cape Breton Island is 15 to 30 centimeters, a little bit less for New Brunswick, but still impactful with up to 15 centimeters of snow. And it's just adding on to what we've seen. That's the biggest part of the problem, I think, here. Windsor, Ontario, today is going to be a lot colder than yesterday. Monday, Toronto got up to 11.9. That's the first time we reached double digits since late December. So it's been a milestone. And today, much cooler temperatures, northwesterly winds. So the blues coming down onto this map mean colder air in place. It'll be below average in places like Toronto over towards Quebec City. Stay with us. Our storm watch coverage continues for you in the east. Today, Newfoundland has blizzard warnings in place for Buena Vista North, Bay of Exploits, Green Bay, and White Bay for the morning. So Newfoundland still dealing with some strong winds. For St. John's itself, things are just a bit cloudy. We're seeing some flurries. But our next system to watch is coming through the Maritime provinces tonight. And ahead of that, there are some warnings in place. So yes, a winter storm warning in place, Halifax to Eniganish. We've got Cape Breton Island, Charlottetown, over towards parts of Nova Scotia in snowfall warnings. So this is a big event. Newfoundland at this point has a lot of winter storm watches, and that's because the storm system comes through tomorrow afternoon for you. Nathan Coleman has been busy tracking the storms this winter. Nathan, tell us where you are now, what you're doing today, and then where you're heading next because you're chasing the storms. That's right, Nathan. Busy guy this winter. So tonight, this is when things will really ramp up. Even by this afternoon, we could see those winds picking up across the Maritime provinces. But yeah, we're going to be shoveling an additional 15 to 30 centimeters of snow in places like Halifax over towards Sydney. A little bit less for you in Charlottetown, but the winds are still going to be an issue. Take a look at this map, and when you see the pink pop up, that's when you know the winds are strong. So this morning, it's across Newfoundland. Then as we head into the afternoon, overnight, things are starting to pick up across Nova Scotia as this low remains offshore, but it ushers in those very strong easterly winds, changing over to a more northwesterly flow heading into tomorrow. Well, stay with us.
More whiteouts are likely. I know you're still digging out from the last one. That storm there is departing, still bringing some blustery northeast winds, so the northern coast of Newfoundland, snow blowing snow, some blizzard conditions. And then this low, just pause it there, Nicole, right there. See, there's Sable Island. That's going to unload, and this is, by the way, beginning later today, but quite bad through Wednesday, unloading a lot of moisture from the sea, and that's going to deposit a fair amount of snow and strong winds, and it looks like Nova Scotia will be the hardest hit.
That's right. So blizzard conditions across Nova Scotia as we look to New Brunswick, not being hit as hard, Chris, but a general 15 to 30, including you in Halifax. But yes, this icon means the very strong winds, gust up to 70, 80 kilometers an hour, could begin as early as this afternoon with the strong winds. And then New Brunswick, we've got the 5 to 15 centimeter range for you. And from today through to Wednesday, this is the snow we're going to get in Newfoundland.
Yeah, that's right. So you're heading down to George Street today, or Argyle in Halifax, George Street in St. John's. Of course, you know, you might need the snowshoes. Have a good time, but just be wary that another storm system's coming. So this is going to be a big impact Wednesday, and then the latter half of Wednesday for Newfoundland. And we could argue this is Sheila's brush because it's after St. Patrick's Day, but we've got another storm in the wings for the weekend.
So I want to highlight that Friday is a break day. We've got clear skies on Friday before this next storm comes through, and this one, we haven't analyzed it completely, looked at all the numbers yet. It's a little too far out, but Friday into Saturday, yes, another storm, Chris, just to ring in the new season.
It certainly looks that way. So cold temperatures this morning in Halifax again, and then and most of the Maritimes will be feeling that chill. So Wednesday is not a great day. Thursday, Friday, it's sort of dig out and get ready for the next one to come in on the weekend. But temperatures will be a little bit milder, at least for the weekend.
Right. Bird around Fort Macleod, we picked up 20 centimeters there, but Pincher Creek, 30 centimeters, Waterton Lakes, 40 centimeters of snow.
5 in Calgary, 15 in Lethbridge. It was that upslope, of course, and that storm system is departing. Still temperatures a little on the cool side. Thursday looks fairly nice, and then the next shot of good rain for the West Coast comes Thursday, likely Friday, and even periodically into Saturday as the system moves across the interior.
Look at Calgary as we head into spring, Chris. We've got temperatures really what you've been used to this winter so far. Sunday getting up to a balmy 12 degrees. Monday will be 14 in Vancouver. Take a look at your 7-day forecast right here.
All right, that's it. Happy St. Paddy's Day, of course, and your first day of spring is this Friday. We'll continue your updated Stormwatch coverage.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nathan. I really hope that he puts a little bit of green dye in it. So it's festive. It's St. Patrick's Day. And on this St. Patrick's Day, temperatures are tumbling in the east. Atlantic Canada, you are back in Stormwatch. We'll tell you why and the science behind a blizzard. So we still have blizzard warnings in place for Newfoundland at this point. Buena Vista is included. We will see winds gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour as the day goes on. And we do have some snow as well moving through parts of the Avalon at this point. Starting tomorrow into Thursday, there is another system to talk about. So this snowfall graphic includes what's happening now and then what starts to happen tomorrow into Thursday. So note Deer Lake over to Gander, 15 to 30 centimeters of snow. You and the Avalon will see about 5 to 15. There could be some ice pellets mixed in here for the southern Avalon Peninsula starting tomorrow. So it's another messy event. It's -1. Usually we're +5 for this time of year, but our bigger story is winter storm warnings have just been issued for Halifax, over towards Cape Breton Island, parts of Nova Scotia, anywhere in blue, and Charlottetown as well. That's a snowfall warning because snowfall for you is going to be up to about 20 centimeters, but in that pink is where we're seeing the stronger winds. And then for Newfoundland, we've got a winter storm watch in place, so a lot is going on. Just take note that overnight tonight, things really start to pick up, so get out to the pubs early. Good excuse because the storm starts tonight. Yarmouth will see some mixing, but yeah, we could be seeing up to 30 centimeters of snow piled on all those snow piles that just don't need any more snow on them. Let's move our attention now to southern Ontario, where it has been mild of late. Even yesterday was double digits in Toronto. We've got Kelly Noseworthy joining us right now with the latest in London. A short break from our Stormwatch coverage for you in Atlantic Canada. It's time for Share Your Weather. Use the hashtag Share Your Weather. Send me photos and videos to @Nicole Karkic at my Twitter account, and then you could get a personalized forecast. Today, we take you to Atlantic Canada. Guess where this is? Snow covered, looks like a blizzard. Well, this is Lisa Bishop. She lives in St. John's, Newfoundland, and we certainly had a lot of snow there to start off the week. In fact, it was 31 centimeters officially on Monday alone at the airport. So Lisa, this afternoon, here's your forecast. The high will be +1, winds sustained at 40 kilometers an hour out of the west, and we are looking at a few centimeters for the morning, but things do taper off by the afternoon. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. There is another storm coming through tomorrow afternoon. That will drop about 10 centimeters of snow on Wednesday. We're sitting around the freezing mark, so we could get some mixing, and as we roll into spring, temperatures still a little bit below average, and Sunday Snow again with a high of 4. Yes, we're going to be doing this all over again for you, especially in the maritime provinces. Starting tonight, the winds are picking up. I know it's St. Patrick's Day, so stay safe out there. The roads are going to get very sloppy across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI tonight. So tomorrow morning, it will be treacherous, and then it moves into Newfoundland. Otherwise, across the country, Ontario, which is on March break, looking good, sunshine, but cooler temperatures. But on the horizon, we really need to focus on this. The problem is we're just adding on more snow to those piles. And for you in Halifax, we are looking at blizzard conditions with strong winds out of the east, changing to a northwesterly flow. Newfoundland, you get in the mix as well. So now, with blizzards on the way, let's find out the science behind them. For the week of festivities, and a lot of the bars open up at 6 a.m. so that you can start to celebrate early. Taking a look at London's forecast, well, if you're going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day, a few extra layers. It's 3, but it feels closer to -1 with the wind chill. Thursday will be 5, Friday will be 7, Saturday getting up to 2 degrees. Taking a look across the country, we do have some snow in Montreal and Quebec City, and a storm moving through Atlantic Canada, which we'll talk about in a moment, but right now we'll turn our attention to Kelly Noseworthy in Ontario. All right, we'll get to Kelly in a moment, but right now we'll focus on our storm watch coverage. Blizzard warnings in place for Buena Vista North at this point, gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour through the day, and there still is some snow in the Avalon, an additional 1 to 2 centimeters for places like St. John's. Note the Buena Vista does have a little bit more heavy snow moving through at this point. Western shores of Newfoundland as well, some snow, and there are some school closures in central Newfoundland for today. So today we've got snow. We get a bit of a break into the evening, but then by tomorrow afternoon, things ramp up, and we're going to see about 15 to 30 centimeters into our Thursday forecast. Right now, Nathan Coleman is joining us in St. John, New Brunswick. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's a fun day to celebrate, but we do have some more snow on the way, Nathan. I know you're on a big mission today.
Yes.
To honor some people who have been very hardy this winter. Been so busy this year, Nathan. Thanks so much. So Halifax, yes, as he mentioned, is going to get hit pretty hard starting this evening. So take care if you're traveling home from any festivities, because winter storm warnings are in play. Halifax to Antigonish. We've got Charlottetown included as well. Anything in blue is a snowfall warning. So that just means that your winds won't be as strong, but it'll still be impactful. And across Newfoundland here, we do have a winter storm watch. So that's just ahead of the storm. Our snowfall totals could be anywhere between 15 to 30 centimeters. It looks like Halifax could be on that close to 30 centimeter range. And then as you get closer inland, the totals go down a little bit. New Brunswick, snow amounts aren't as big for you, but look at these strong northerly winds. It's going to be a nice easterly flow that's going to pick up the snow and blow it all around. With that low staying offshore, we're going to see the biggest impact being close to Halifax, and then it does shift into Newfoundland. Stay with us. Our storm watch coverage does continue. Good morning, Canada. Our top headlines today include, we've got some tumbling temperatures for you, especially in the east. Atlantic Canada, you're back in storm watch. It's like deja vu all over again. And the science behind a blizzard coming up. Our storm watch starts now. Blizzard warnings were blanketing Newfoundland yesterday. We still have some places included this morning, like the Buena Vista North, so that we need at least 4 hours of snow or blowing snow, sustained winds at 40 kilometers an hour, and visibility reduced to 40 kilometers or less. So we've got this in play for today. Anything in red is in that blizzard warning. For the Avalon Peninsula, there still is a little bit of snow, a few centimeters that will change into a bit of a rain-snow mix by the afternoon. But this is the snow that's coming for us tomorrow into Thursday. So it includes today. You get a break, but then yes, anything in dark blue, 15 to 30 centimeters is en route. The same thing, of course, in the vicinity of St. John's. We've got across Newfoundland a winter storm watch in place. That's a hey, heads up, there's a storm coming tomorrow. And already winter storm warning. Halifax is included in this pink, so that means the snow, and then add in the strong winds gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour. Anything in blue, which yes, does include Charlottetown, snowfall warning. So the winds just aren't of that criteria for a winter storm warning, but it's still going to be impactful. Problem is, we have all that snow on the ground, so add on the additional 5 to 15 in New Brunswick, it's going to be messy. And of course, across Nova Scotia, you're getting hit the hardest. With Halifax, yes, close to that 30 centimeter range. Now the winds, anytime you see pink, are strong. So Newfoundland Newfoundland seeing it today, strong northerly winds. And then we start to see these easterly winds picking up with this low staying offshore. And then we get into some northwesterly flow for tomorrow. So lots of things are going to be shut down again tomorrow, I'm anticipating. Now, today is St. Patrick's Day. So let's get out and celebrate. Today we have a guest in honor of it being St. Patrick's Day.
We do indeed.
Yes. Introduce yourself.
Seamus O'Flaherty with you. It's my favourite day of the year as well. Now, I'll tell you something in St. John's, you know, getting down to George Street, you'll need the snowshoes, but you'll get there. Maybe in Halifax, going to head down to Argyle. I think the Dirty Nelly will do some brisk business. And, you know, Crescent Street, Montreal, Seamus O'Flaherty go together like salt and pepper.
Okay, did anyone understand that? I didn't. This afternoon, how about this, Seamus?
Well, you know, it's a lot cooler in Toronto, but the lines have already started at Finn McCool's down at Esplanade, so it's going to be a good St. Patty's Day, just a little chilly out there.
And take us to the prairies, why don't you?
Well, you know, Seamus loves Saskatchewan because the colour of green is absolutely everywhere. Happy St. Patty's Day. Stay safe. Have a good time.
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. I'm wearing green today in honor of St. Patrick's Day. And as we look across the country, green on the radar, a little bit of rain that has passed through parts of Ontario. Toronto, Cornwall seems to be clearing out. But Montreal and Quebec City, a few flurries this morning. Let's focus now, however, on our storm watch. Blizzard conditions again moving through Atlantic Canada for tomorrow, but we do still have blizzard warnings this morning for Buena Vista North and parts of Newfoundland. That means at least 4 hours of snow or blowing snow, sustained winds at 40 kilometers an hour, so reduced visibility to 400 meters or less. For blizzard warnings still in play, anything marked in red is included, and we do still see a bit of snow through the Buena Vista Peninsula at this point. St. John seems to be clearing out. Springdale, some patchy snow in the western shores of Newfoundland as well. So there are some school closures today already in Newfoundland, so do take care. It is going to be messy. You get a bit of a break heading into tomorrow morning, so things clear out later today, but then on the way there's more snow. So this is this morning into Thursday, so it's two systems combined. It's going to get nasty. Now 1 to 26 centimeters of snow in and around Halifax. And now, while today's a break day, temperatures are below average, and then we've got another system to worry about, and that's why we're in storm watch. There's a winter storm warning in place for Halifax. We'll also see that snow spreading into New Brunswick. St. John, New Brunswick has a new record, Nathan. Tell us all about it and what you're doing for them today. No, it doesn't look like it, at least for the next storm. You will see about 20 centimeters for Charlottetown, however. And yeah, New Brunswick, no warnings at this point, but Nova Scotia, it just looks like with the low staying offshore and it moving fairly slowly, that we're going to pick up heavy amounts, especially for places like Halifax with 15 to 30 centimeters on the way. And we'll talk about how there's another storm system after tomorrow, too. This morning, we still have strong winds across Newfoundland, especially from places like Gander towards the western shores of Newfoundland, with those strong northerly winds, an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow before it tapers off. On the horizon, however, another storm moving into the maritime provinces, picking up steam this afternoon through to Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're going to see strong winds and up to 30 centimeters of snow for parts of Nova Scotia. Halifax likely close to that 30 centimeter range. A little less snow for New Brunswick, but the strong winds there too. Opening about 6 a.m. local time.
Telling me to smile.
All right, we've got the London 7-day forecast for you in a moment, but right now we'll go right down to London, Ontario, to talk about the St. Patrick's Day festivities that are happening and the safety that's happening around them too. All right, thanks so much, Kelly. Maybe they were ahead of the game today because I was stopped on my early drive into work by the police. They were doing a sobriety check, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm off to work." And he said, "Wow, that's an early start." All right, so stay safe out there this afternoon and tonight across the country for festivities. For Wednesday, we're going to be sitting at 3 degrees in London. This afternoon, it's about the 2-3 degree range as well. For Saturday, we see some light snow moving into parts of southern Ontario. It's still a little far off, so we'll watch to see if it comes a little further north or south. And we do have some light snow in Montreal and Quebec City for this morning. But let's start now with our storm watch coverage. So just a bit of a continuation. We have blizzard warnings still in place for Newfoundland, which were issued yesterday across most of the island. We have the Bonavista North still included, where we see gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour continuing, and an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, generally speaking, for today in parts of Newfoundland. We seem to have cleared out of St. John's at this point, some cloud cover and some lingering flurries. Now, so we've got snow today, a bit of a break overnight tonight to tomorrow, and then another storm moving in tomorrow afternoon through to Thursday. So from Gander over towards Deer Lake, that's 15 to 30 centimeters. So adding on more snow. For the Avalon Peninsula, we're going to see totals down a little bit because we could have the potential, especially in the southern Avalon, of seeing some rain snow mixed in there, some ice pellets potentially too. For Newfoundland, that's a winter storm watch, but there is a winter storm warning from Halifax to Antigonish. We've got the potential of gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour and possibly 30 centimeters of snow. So timing. Everyone wants to know when this is going to start, because today is cold, yes, in the Maritimes, but it is relatively quiet. This starts as early as this afternoon with the strong winds, but this evening, anywhere in the blue or the pink is going to see the snow start to pick up. And when all is said and done into tomorrow morning, this is how much snow you could be shoveling. So yes, less for New Brunswick and parts of PEI, but the winds, yes, are a huge issue. We still have Nova Scotia on March break and PEI, but New Brunswick, we'll keep an eye out for you because we could see some school closures into tomorrow morning. Northwesterly winds into the morning, but then we start to see an easterly flow as this low is offshore and bringing all of that snow in through Nova Scotia. So hopefully you're having a good time this morning and dressing in green like I did and like our guest did, Seamus O'Flaherty. Welcome to the program.
Well, top of the morning to you. That's
Thank you.
Might I say you're a sight for sore eyes there, Nicole.
I'm blushing.
There you go. So how's the St. Patty's Day going to be, the forecast? Well, I tell you something, in St. John's, you're going to need the snowshoes to get down to George Street today. I suspect that the old dirty Nellies in Halifax down on Argyle will be doing brisk business, and you know Crescent Street in Montreal and Seamus O'Flaherty go together like salt and pepper.
And that's right, and we've got this forecast here in Ontario. Seamus, how's it looking?
Well, it's a lot cooler today, 1 degree in Toronto, but they started lining up at Finn McCool's there down on the Esplanade in Toronto, and the Tar Inn in Scarborough is going to be packed to the rafters today.
Absolutely, and as we look to the prairies, well, it looks pretty good to get out and drink some Guinness.
And let's be honest, 4 degrees in Winnipeg. I remember spending a St. Patrick's in Winnipeg, nearly froze my shamrocks off. Then, meanwhile, across Alberta, after all that fresh snow in the foothills, a better day. Keep in mind, if you're heading down to the Blarney Stone in Vancouver, it's an all ages, so watch the cursing, and happy St. Patty's Day.
This morning, we still have strong winds across Newfoundland, especially from places like Gander towards the western shores of Newfoundland, with those strong northerly winds, an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow before it tapers off. On the horizon, however, another storm moving into the maritime provinces, picking up steam this afternoon through to Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're going to see strong winds and up to 30 centimeters of snow for parts of Nova Scotia. Halifax likely close to that 30 centimeter range. A little less snow for New Brunswick, but the strong winds there too. So let's start there in Newfoundland and Labrador. On the St. Patrick's Day, there's an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Gander towards the western shores of Newfoundland. The wind's still strong this morning, but that tapers off. Another storm on the horizon for us in the maritime provinces. Overnight tonight through to Wednesday, it is going to be very messy for travel. Take a look at these numbers. You've been shoveling this week already. An additional 15 to 30 centimeters to pile on those snowpacks. Plus, the winds will be very strong across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI tomorrow morning. Well, this afternoon, temperatures are cooling down, especially compared to yesterday in parts of southern Ontario. Look at Toronto, from 11 degrees yesterday to +1 this afternoon. St. John's, Newfoundland, +1 over towards Calgary, 3, and +12 in Vancouver. March break this week in Ontario, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. If you're on Ontario, it's going to be cool, but nice and sunny for your travels. Messy weather begins tonight across the maritime provinces, so do take care if you're traveling. We're going to see very strong winds in places like Halifax with up to 30 centimeters of snow. I know, another storm. Moving towards the west, fair weather for today, and mild air in place returns through parts of southern Alberta as we head into Wednesday.